You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Thank you for tuning into the Luvcoach Show, hosted by me, Bruce Starr. On this show, you will learn a lot about relationships from me, the Luvcoach, and my many interesting guests. And now, welcome to the Luvcoach Show with Bruce Starr.
Hi there, and thank you for joining me. On today's show, I will be sharing the audio version of a live presentation I made in Jupiter, Florida, at Temple Beth Am, at a location we will be meeting every third Wednesday of every month for the next several months. The presentation was called The Top 10 Unique Ways and Places to Meet Someone New. I chose this subject in response to the many questions I receive on how to meet somebody new. Please let me know what you think of the ideas I presented, and feel free to send along your ideas on what you'd like me to talk about in the future to Luvcoach, Luvcoach1 @gmail.com. And now, let's listen in to the presentation I made just a short while ago. Okay. The idea is to be able to go places and do things that you can replicate, where you can, once you see people, see the problem in a bar or a club is that when someone sees you and they fall madly in love with you, or you fall madly in love with them, what do you have to do? You have to say some freaky things to them to get their attention, or they say some crazy things to you. That are not really, it's not really the best way to meet somebody, you know? But when you're in a situation where you know you're going to see people again, and possibly again, you're going to be a little bit more yourself, and not so desperate to connect because, hey, I may never see this person again. So we're going to talk about tonight finding ways to replicate and duplicate places to go. Okay, so one of those places that you can go is to take classes. Because if you take classes, go to the ones that you're going to go to for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 8 weeks, where you're going to go every week, once a week, twice a week, and you're basically going to see the same people. Now, you have to pick out the course. Here's the key. You don't want to pick a course that is not going to attract interesting people. There's so many different, high school, right? High school, after there's classes in high school for adults and colleges. Find some subjects that are really interesting for you, but also that might be interesting, a place for a person you like to meet would go. And once you get to go to class, you know you're going to see them over and over and over again. And then it's time to eye contact, a smile. If you're a lady, and you know, we can have a whole weekend talking about the roles of the masculine and feminine in relationships, how that's all changed dramatically, the roles that men play and women play, how assertive some women have had to have gotten, and how receptive men have gotten. It's really a crazy kind of a thing, and we could do a whole weekend just talking about that to understand how confusing it's become for everybody today. You know, it seems like every time I do one of your expos, I'm definitely talking about masculine energy and feminine energy because it is so confusing. So, taking courses. Has anybody had experiences taking classes? Has anybody done that? Sometimes you have to be a little assertive and smile at people and make eye contact. You know, change jobs. Sometimes we've gotten stuck doing the same thing over and over again, we're not meeting anybody, we're not enjoying our jobs. And while you have the energy, if you still want to work, change jobs, right? So,
Go to Home Depot.
work at Home Depot if you want to meet a man. That's exactly what I'm going to eventually get at here. I mean, you have to wear like dungarees, and you have to wear,
Just hang around.
But that's exactly right. And if you're a woman, the best way to meet somebody, and you just kind of do what I do when I'm there, just look lost. Is it easy to look lost in Home Depot? Hell yeah. So, but don't just look up and down the aisle. Make sure there's somebody there to look lost with. And guys, believe me, whatever you think of guys love to help. We do. We like to rescue. We do. Unless we've gotten really beaten up, we really love to rescue. And I'm getting the nods from the people who've been married a long time. You know that men want to be there for you. You know that. So get lost in Home Depot or Office Depot. No, not Office Depot.
No.
Home Depot is a great place. Okay.
Let's take a break from the presentation, the top 10 unique and different ways and places to meet new people, for these brief but important messages. Don't go away. We will be right back.
This is Cece Schatz, and I'm an inspirational speaker, divorce, life, and transitional coach with a unique style of healing from within. With that, been here, done that approach to life. I hope you'll join me each and every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with Going Solo with Cece, where we bring you educational, informative discussions through the devastation feelings of divorce to finding yourself and redefining your best life. We will take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of divorce, parenting, being single, relationships, dating, and yes, sex. So be sure to tune in every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with Going Solo with Cece.
And thank you for staying with us. I'm excited to share with you more unique ways and places to meet new people. Now back to the presentation. Someone asked, why am I always attracted to unavailable or married men?
That's a whole different weekend seminar. It's a whole different seminar, because it all has to do with the vibe, not only the vibe that you put out, but what you don't want to admit. When you see someone and it ends up that they're married all the time, that's something you're interested in. It can't always be that all the men are married. Are they? No. Can't be. But you certainly do have an attraction to guys, let's just say for now, who sort of look like that they don't care that much, right? That they don't need you that much. Why? Because they're married. But to be attracted to those kinds of, that's a whole weekend. It's a whole weekend seminar. But let's get to the list. Everyone should have a list. Whether you believe in it or not, everyone should have a list. What should that list have? You might want to put a T-square on a big piece of paper and write all the things that you want in a man or woman, excuse me. And on the other side, the things that are deal breakers. It might be they smoke, or they do drugs, whatever it is. And when you meet someone and you've gotten to know them a little bit, go back to your list
And check it out.
and see,
It is.
are they anywhere in this list?
0.
And I'm not saying that you shouldn't date them. You shouldn't if they're coming up all negatives. That's for sure. But bring out that list when you meet someone. And, you can always update it. It's not set in stone. It's not stuck. You can update it at any time. But there's another thing about writing the list. Anybody have an idea what's another good reason to write that list? It's an energy attractor. You don't have to believe it at all. But if you're thinking of a guy and he is doing, this and doing that, and he looks like this and smells like that and tastes like that, I put that in for you. You're going to draw that kind of man to you because, number one, you're not going to be so distracted by people that don't have those things. Number one. And number two, there's an energy attractor at work. And when you visualize something, think about something, and feel something, and you say, "Boy, I just feel it," that's because there is energy at work to bring you together. You don't have to believe it, but it's absolutely true. Okay, so write that list. Who's going to go home and write that list? Raise your hand. I'm married. I don't have to. I'm telling you, go home and write that list. You don't have to believe it. Everybody's talking about these vision boards. Have you been like watching TV and people say, "Oh, I went by my vision board. I haven't looked at it in 3 years," and all of a sudden, what the hey? 3 or 4 or 5 things that they wanted came into their life, and it was on that vision board from something that they made 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. So, a vision board is like, say it's a board like that, and you take pictures of things that you want in your life. Could be an apartment, cut it out of a magazine. I'm not saying that you should put the perfect man or anything, but well, you can have certain attributes and whatever, but it might be pictures of a neighborhood you want, a car you want to drive, a man at work doing certain things, and when you put that down in writing, it gives it much more energy. It works. You don't have to believe it, but it does work. Okay, that's the list. Okay? Go to places a man or woman you want to meet would go in their free time. We talked about Home Depot, but there's a lot of other places. But you have to take the time to think outside the box. You have to have a little bit of a game plan. You can't just say, "Oh, there's no men or there's no women." Because guess what? Your words are powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. There won't be. But if you put a game plan together, there's a very good chance that you will be able to not only draw that to yourself, but draw people that are feeling the same thing and looking for the same things. Not bowling in. Okay, guys. What was the name of that show?
The Gay Man?
Married with Children. He sold shoes, right? And all he did was sell shoes to, they couldn't show it enough times. And so, something? There's nothing wrong with selling ladies' shoes. But if you don't want to sell ladies' shoes, here's something that you can do that will absolutely introduce you to a lot of people. Take a dance class. 100%, great way to meet someone. There's not 1,000 people there. If you like to dance, you're meeting other people that like to dance. Yoga. Who's taking a yoga class? Oh, come on. Okay, good. Everyone really needs to take yoga. It keeps you so limber. It keeps, it's like if these people are not going to yoga, trust me. But the people that are older than them, that are walking around, they might be taking yoga. And it's not that difficult. And you go to classes, and there's other people who want to take care of their bodies, and their health is important to them, and they're at yoga classes. Meditation. Anybody meditate in here? Oh my God, it's so important. Congratulations. Oprah. I'm not a big Oprah quoter. My wife likes it when I do quote Oprah. Oprah says it is the most important thing you can do. The most important thing you can do. What is meditation? It's a time to get quiet. And it's not really to think your thoughts. It's really to get quiet and to calm down. It might be for 5 minutes, it might be for 10 minutes. Slow things down. Because sometimes we get so fast. You get so speedy. And that's when you're not able to really create and produce like you'd like to because you're going so fast. So there's astrology classes filled with ladies and guys. All you have to do is want to take a class and go where the ladies are.
Let's take a break from the presentation, the top 10 unique and different ways and places to meet new people for these brief but important messages. Don't go away. We will be right back.
When businesses want short-term answers for problems they have not been able to solve on their own, they bring in knowledgeable, experienced consultants. Why not do the same for your long-term challenges and problems concerning love, sex, dating, and your relationships? An experienced relationship coach can help you through, understand, and cast aside fear and intimacy issues that have prevented you from having the happiness you deserve. You have worked long and hard and have everything but love in your life. Why not have your own relationship coach guide you through every step of the process that will bring you closer to having a soulmate in your life? Don't wait another minute to let go of destructive, unproductive habits to find love. Mention you heard this on my show and receive a free 10-minute consultation. Contact me at Luvcoach at AOL.com. That's LUVCOACH at AOL.com. A relationship coach can help you have everything and love in your life.
Hey everybody, this is your girl, Dr. MV, host of Singles Get Real. Catch the show. If you missed the show, simply check out my podcast. Thanks for listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network.
Thank you for staying with us. I think you will learn quite a bit over the next few minutes. Now back to the presentation.
People, and you're talking, and you're having fun, and you're sitting right next to each other, and you're sort of celebrating when you get a strike or a spare. And then you play another team the week after. It doesn't make sense, doesn't it? To maybe join a bowling league if you've ever bowled. Don't give up on bowling. Travel clubs. I mean, if a lot of people are retired in here, travel clubs, take a friend. But actually, I remember when I traveled and I was alone before I was married, it's kind of forced me to talk to more people when I traveled alone. And I didn't have to worry about someone judging me or what I was saying or what I was doing. So travel clubs are great. And, Jerry brought up a weekend, a retreat. Now, to me, in the future, there will be 2- and 3-day weekends for people who are interested. There's no more dynamic ways to meet someone than to be under one roof with the same 20 or 30 or 40 people for 2 or 3 days. Looking at each other, checking each other out, learning about relationships, going into group work, getting to know people. So weekend workshops are fantastic ways to meet somebody.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I always like that idea of getting a woman to go with, so you become friends and get together. And I always ask, is there someone who wants to go on a cruise and try to get together with them, so that, say, it's a way of making a friend, and then, of course, whatever else on the cruise.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. To make friends so that you do have someone when you go away. I think when we get a little older, we don't want to do things alone. And that's what the next part is going to be about, where hopefully you brought some business cards or cards that you made up, and we're going to put the men in a circle, and the ladies will, circle around. Yes, we're going to, not so speedy, but We'll get it going. We're going to take a little break in a few minutes. But that'll give you the opportunity to figure out, I kind of like this person. Let's exchange information. Let's go to dinner, get to know each other, go to the movies, swim clubs, any kind of club. I mean, you name it. I didn't want to put clubs up because I thought that was kind of a little bit more common sense, but there's live book clubs, library clubs, meet in places like this, size like this, where you might have to smile and make eye contact with people, but definitely join different groups that you have interest in. And we talked about taking a weekend workshop, number 3. Number 2, organize your own private parties, 6 or 8 people. That's what later on when we exchange cards, if you get together with 1 or 2 or 3 people, and each one of those people invites one person, you have a party of 6 or 8 people. You have it at a different house. The next month you have it at somebody else's house. It's taking things in your own hand. Not waiting for somebody else to do things with you. Find people that you find interesting and make some plans with them. Have some private parties. And by far, the most wonderful thing that you can possibly do that will work depending on your vision of volunteering. Volunteering is spectacular. It is wonderful. Think about it. What kind of people volunteer? Good people, the best people. And also, when you volunteer, you break down business structures that you can't break down any other way. What do I mean? You can meet CEOs. They're volunteering right along with you. At telethons, you're making phone calls, you're speaking to a lot of people. Someone says, I like your voice. Oh, okay. There's business leaders, everybody's there. It's a wonderful, wonderful way to meet people is to volunteer. I volunteer here at the temple all the time. Yeah, but all I meet is these guys here who I cook and, but we become great friends. So volunteering is wonderful. It breaks you out of thinking about yourself and worried about your own problems, and it helps you to reach out and help others. Nothing will help get you out of doldrums than reaching out and helping others. It will change everything. Yes.
I volunteer at the front desk of Delray Hospital. I volunteer in the soup kitchen.
Great.
I mean, not to meet men, just because I love to volunteer.
Yeah, she volunteers in soup kitchens and Delray Hospital. Now, you have to have a certain mentality to volunteer. And that mentality is giving is instantly receiving. You feel great.
You feel great.
You're not waiting for somebody else to tell you good job. You're not waiting for someone to give you something back. When you give and help someone reach a goal that they couldn't reach on their own, I would do that 24 hours a day if I could. If I didn't have to worry about, anything else. I love helping and serving people. Maybe that's why I'm here tonight, because I think I can make a little bit of a difference with you and help you have a better social life. So volunteering your time, figure out a way to do it. Don't get stuck doing tedious work, in a small office somewhere. Just don't do it. But, think of some things that you can do, activities. When I was out in Los Angeles and we were doing a TV show out there were young boys, young kids who were getting behind the cameras and learning how to shoot the big TV cameras. And they were learning how to do audio. And they were learning how to do video. They were learning how to edit. They were volunteering. They were interns. What a wonderful way to get practical experience of doing something that you might want to do to earn a living from, even another career. So volunteering is spectacular. Join a board of directors. They all need people to be there with them, to support them. Figure out an organization, a nonprofit organization, and approach them and say, I'd like to be a board member. Find out if it's possible. Great way to meet people. I think that's it. No? Yeah, pick a cause important to you and volunteer. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. I hope if you just got one idea that you'll be able to use, I'll consider this evening a success.
Thank you for listening to the Luvcoach Show, hosted by me, Bruce Starr. If you would like to contact me for one-on-one relationship coaching sessions that can save you months or even years of being alone and lonely or in unhealthy dating experiences, or if you'd like me to speak to your group, company, or corporation about productive relationships, contact me at Luvcoach, LUVcoach1@gmail.com, or call me at 561-203-5514. Until next time, bye-bye, everybody.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio Channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.